What's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 11th of the 11th month, 2019. What's up, YouTube? And I forgot to mute my other screen, but I just did, so there we go. All right. I'm sitting here waiting for somebody, and apparently he's blowing me off, so whatever. I can do it solo anyways, probably with a lot less words. What is up? Broken Reality's got the wrench. It's just Groot has the wrench. Low-key Lil, Nomad Thinker, Moto J81, Peter Clark, Karen Ann Preston, Hodgepodge, Brenda J. May, read Romans 10, 9 through 14. Indeed. Ron Baker, what's up, brother? Robert, oh, I just tried to click on you. You totally disappeared, dude. Jeremy, Laciest Lace, Fool Me Not, Sandra Martin, Honda Rosa, Blue on Black, Fool Me Not. I already said that. Muttley McBear, I love that name. Sammy loves Sophie Kitty. Sammy loves Sophie Kitty. My bad. Acura RL, what's up? Lynn Gruen, what is up? Scott's wife, what's up? And for people that are watching this after it's live that are going, I can't believe you just move the little thing past this. You can forward it. It's video. It's crazy. At any rate, Twilight, what's up? Ashton Mitch, what is up? Truth will set you free, you'd think. What's up? Monica Beach, what's up? Anonymous Rebel. William Keefapo. Ange 076, Truth Seeker, Zilvin Rocher, and R Minor. That is that. All right, let's do this. Yes, please show me the screen sharing tips every single solitary time. No, we're not going to do this. We'll show you this. You've seen this before. This is stuff that I've taken with a P1000. And for those that don't have a P1000, get a P900. They're cheaper and they're better. After they've made the P900, somebody called and said, yeah, we're going to need you to make a few adjustments to the new camera. Make it bigger, make it bulkier, and make it so it doesn't work so well. And that's exactly what they did. The P900 is a far superior camera. This is just a video I took yesterday of them completely obliterating the sun. The sun came out. Oh, no, my bad. This was on the 4th. This is old footage. The stuff I took yesterday is not available as of yet because Richie spends a lot of time sitting here editing, and it's obnoxious. At any rate, you see this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4 engines, so they're simulating that he's blowing tens of miles of exhaust out of the back of his plane. That's what the normal people think. The thing is if you have a really good eye, 1, 2, 3, 4, but notice this other one that's actually mixing in right here. So he's got 4 engines. He's leaving 4 trails behind him. But we all know what that is. It's all nonsensical. It's not real. It's not legit. They're blocking out the sky. This stuff stays up there absolutely forever. It's only in front of the sun, and it completely and totally shortens the day, drops the temperature, and blocks out the sun. That's exactly what they're doing. It's not a big secret whatsoever at all. They've been doing it for a long time. They've been doing it so often, and for whatever reason, back in 2017, I made a video called The Most Important Video I've Ever Made. And to this day, it still is the most important video I ever made because Harvard, specifically Dr. David H. Keith, H probably stands for, actually, I'll digress. They came out and said, we're not spraying the sky, but because of global warming, we're going to begin, quote unquote, experimenting. We're going to start experimenting with spraying the sky. And then they pulled out all these ridiculous, nonsensical things like we're going to use balloons and coal ash and vitamins and Flintstone vitamins, and we're going to sprinkle calcium and magnesium. It'll be great. It'll be good for America. What we'll do is we'll just take a small portion of the sun and bounce it back into outer space. Now, I've said this before. So many things are wrong with that particular sentence. You can't bounce it back into outer space because outer space is actually liquid. I'm going to guess it's something that we would call helium-4 or 5, but I'm not some NASA guy, so I don't know these things. Do you see what I'm saying? I see you, Jesus. I see you. What's up, homie?
I'm in.
You're in. You're in.
H
You're in.
H H stands for Heine.
Heine. I was going to say hand job, but I thought that'd be a little too.
Yeah, well, that would be too kind.
It was the first thing that came to my mind. But the thing is when in 2017, after denying it forever, suddenly coming out and saying, "Oh, we are going to start spraying the sky," and then every physics.org, Live Science, Futurism Magazine, every single newspaper, blah 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 blah. Geoengineering, and they're always talking about, we have to do it to save us. We just don't know the right dosage. Meanwhile, they're just absolutely inundating us with all sorts of crap in the sky, to the point where I'm catching perfectly concentric circles in a row that all move directly in front of the sun, like an incredibly well-planned setup, because every one of those loops move directly in front of the sun, which is unbelievably phenomenal engineering. There was a lot of dudes like yourself sitting there making sure that all lined up in every one of those loops that nobody else noticed except the people that watched the video moved in front of the sun. It was unreal. And then with all the chemtrailing, all the geoengineering, solar remediation, blah, 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 I heard you the other day come up with something that freaked me out. So I went back in my videos, and apparently I did something very similar back in 2016, but you've got better proof. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Better proof?
Yeah.
I think, you've
got a better theory, and you worded it better. And I have all your links up. So if you want to share them, or you want me to share
you do?
I do. Yeah. Tell you. Operation Dominic.
Oh, you just did all the work. I was like, oh man, I got to go find all my stuff.
Negative. I've got David. I've got the David Rumsey map. I've got Antarctica's concentration of volcanoes. I've got your video. I've got you already speaking. If you want to run that, it's your call.
Yeah, well, it's all good, brother. Hey, I got to show you. I got to share my screen for one thing right now.
Have at it, brother. Have at it.
Check this out. Check this out. You'll love this, man. Go ahead. Is it sharing?
There it is.
That was my drive on the way in this morning towards Columbia, South Carolina. Now you look at that freaking mess, dude. Okay. I mean, here's what kills me. It troubles me, drives me a little insane. Maybe you too. I listen to you. How is it that people can't see that? And if you tell them what it is, they deny it. Right? How is that?
Well, they deny it, and you can even show them all the articles, because every single solitary day, and I'm not even talking about the introduction of this girl, Greta.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere. It's not stopped. All they're talking about it is people still don't seem to care. They don't care. They don't care.
Oh, you're talking about Greta Goodness?
Yeah. The girl with her giant Saddam Hussein, Adolf Hitler, Mussolini type mural on the side of a building now in San Francisco. I mean, he really did that.
Well, we're talking about a general public that accepts that freaking Tesla car in front of the Earth was real.
What? You're telling me a car with a mannequin isn't floating off into outer space? That wasn't real?
I'm sorry, dude.
You just broke my paradigm, dude.
I just broke it all down. That's it. Yeah. Hey, I wasn't sure where we were going to begin. Remember, I mentioned that I wanted to bring up CERN and ITER.
I've got CERN, ITER, and D-Wave quantum computers. And let's not forget that Jordy explained to us that the D-Wave quantum computer, which if you look at it inside the box, it looks just like a spinal cord hanging down with the alleged quantum computer chip hanging on the bottom, and it has to be kept at absolute zero, and according to them, which is colder than outer space.
Yeah, which doesn't exist.
Right.
Because
it sucks having to throw that caveat in there every time, but most
we do.
I hear you.
Listen, that's why it took me so freaking long to make the point the other day. Because I know, listen, we're talking to not a captive audience, but an informed audience. But there's going to be people that are going to come across this video and go, "What the heck are these?"
You know what?
Talking about?
You're absolutely right. You're right. You're right. You do explain it better. I just have very little patience, and I was
I
rebuilding a
know, brother.
transfer case while you were doing that, and I'm like, well, just say it. What is? I was dying to know.
I could feel it, brother.
Sorry.
But it's cool, man. But look, most people don't have a background. Look, even people who believe in the scriptures, the Bible is truth. Okay. If you tell them that the earth is flat and enclosed, because this is an important part of why, look, we know the chemtrails are causing Morgellons, they're causing all kinds, they're putting for all intents and purposes, they're changing our genetics through microwave technologies that are able to propagate through the particulates that are in our atmosphere. Understand that aluminum is a great conducer of electromagnetic energies.
Indeed.
Okay?
Yeah.
The other components that we all know are in there also assist. Okay. And so you're able to propagate. It's hard not to use these fancy words, but it goes through the air better than just regular old air. Okay. And so those energies, those microwave, the scalar waves, all these energies propagate better. And they're literally, I did a talk before. I've talked about this before, how they're able to modify our genetics remotely. Okay. Now that's crazy town talk, Dave. No, they're already doing that. That's one element. Then we also know they're blocking out the sun to toy with the weather and control the weather, right? I mean, we know this part, right? And a lot of people still deny all that. Well, see, if we're not in an enclosed system, the way thermodynamics works, okay, the way the transfer of energy works, you got an air conditioner in your house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Most people may not understand that it's not, the air conditioner doesn't work by putting in cold air. It works by taking out, transferring the heat energy from the air that's inside and moving it somewhere else. Okay. Now that's a property of thermodynamics, how that heat exchange energy never disappears. It doesn't just disappear. It goes somewhere else. It moves around. Okay. And so for that to work, it's using what we call the law of thermodynamics, whether or not it's a law, it's a physical law in our physical sciences. So part of that, though, thermodynamics covers not just what we call heat exchange, but electromagnetic fields as well. Okay. What? We looking at something here?
No, somebody just left a gross comment. Some people get a little too descriptive with their lymph nodes and whatnot.
I see. That's all good. Look, we're all one big happy family. It's all right. And listen, I grew up in bar rooms, dude. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I cuss anymore, but I've done my share. And I kind of want to cuss. That's why I appreciate it when you do, because you're cussing.
Fucking A.
You're cussing for the rest of us.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal on that, because a lot of people I get emails. Richie, you really need to tone down your swearing. It's like, yeah, I swear probably once a week, maybe twice. And in my old life, swearing was just something that I was doing while I was doing something horrible or violent to somebody else. You know what I mean? It's toned it down a great deal. So let's all just
it was a colorful metaphor. Look at that effing green thing.
Exactly.
Exactly. But now, hey, here's what's funny, dude. Not funny, haha, but just interesting to see how you've grown, how you've grown. And now I catch you. What was it? Big Sip? Is that the fellow?
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, man, he's cool. So
ideally, I'd like to get you both on at the same time, and then I'll just sit in the back and highlight comments while you two go at it.
Well, it would probably it would be a lot of fun. Actually, he's cool.
No, so, he amazes me how well he retains and retransmits information,
brother. While he's freaking fishing, right?
You see what I'm saying? No, he's not an ex-NASA employee.
Well,
we expected from.
I suck at all that. I don't have a green thumb, and I can build things though. Like I can build
a hell of a head of hair.
Well, thanks.
You know what I mean? Apparently, when you get to be our age category, it's a bone of contention with other men. They're like,
Actually,
"Ricky, what do you do to your hair?" I don't wash it. I keep a hat on.
yeah. Well, it used to be brown, but anyway, but I digress. So
I
they say.
digress. I'm watching the other screen right now. We're both sitting there scratching our heads like idiots.
It's a new trend.
There you go.
So look, so those thermodynamics, okay? So we have to, okay. The powers that be have controlled our language. They've made sure that our minds think a certain way so we don't see the periphery, right? So we always think the way that our keepers in this world have told us. This is what that word means. We use this language. The language limits our ability to understand. Okay. And even things like thermodynamics. Most people don't apply the idea of thermodynamics to energy exchange overall. They just think of, cold and hot. Okay. So when you look at, where is it? I just had it up on my screen because I wanted to actually quote it. I don't have it here. Go figure.
What are you looking for? What do you need?
Oh, here we go. Thermodynamics, the branch of physical science that deals with the relations between heat and other forms of energy, such as mechanical, electrical, or chemical energy, and by extension, of the relationships between all forms of energy. Okay. So this is something I was riffing off about the other day. I think I might have been talking to Photo Helix about it. He was kind of iffy. I'm really, really getting in my spirit assured of this is when God said, "Let there be light." Because our language we've had our minds corralled by language and by the powers that be, right? That when we hear "let there be light," we think poof, big bright light, and that nothing could be further from the truth. The entire electromagnetic spectrum was "let there be light." Everything is made out of light. As warm, fuzzy, feel goody as that sounds, I'm not talking new agey here. Everything is made from electromagnetic fields and particles that are generated from our perception of those fields. Okay. So, and it's radio, our thoughts are EM, electromagnetic, everything that makes up this world. And so that whole energy exchange, that thermodynamic process, it, by the way, would only truly work in an enclosed system. So when they're telling us you have this thing called global warming, if the Earth was really a globe, right? And it's the atmosphere is held down by the gravity and it's spinning 1,000+ miles an hour at the equator, like they tell us, and somehow the atmosphere is held to the ground. There's no barrier between the great vacuum of space. Really? And what do they talk about? PG&E's pulling the plug.
That's hilarious because of high solar winds. I find that Tori whatever your last name is, that's hilarious.
Tori whatever. That is, hey, and did you see the moon tonight?
I did, but we got smoked today.
Oh, dude. Well,
I literally the other day I saw those concentric chemtrails that no one else saw. I mean, it's enormous. It was horizon to horizon. And then tonight or this afternoon, they sprayed something, and I noticed that the trails actually spread out incredibly wide. Remember, we're at 30,000 feet. So when you're looking up, you're looking at something that's a mile or so. These were incredibly, they've got something new, and they're using new techniques, but they're ramped it up. So,
well, they could have changed the content of the particulates. They could have applied some kind of energy or I don't want to lose track of the whole transfer of energy thing with thermodynamics. That's got no, it's cool. It's cool. You know how I am, dude. I love it when you throw in a little laugh. But look, back to the Earth thing. The thermodynamic processes of our environment, of weather, actually wouldn't function in a spinning globe. The heat would have a place to escape.
Right.
It would
Due to the
transfer.
centrifugal force, right?
It would transfer out of the atmosphere, dude. It would transfer. You'd go from one place where the energy is to a place where the energy isn't. Hello.
That makes sense. That's
how it works. The only way the engine of our weather works, period, is that is in an enclosed system. You follow me?
Yes.
It has to be enclosed for the weather to even work.
Because you couldn't even reproduce what they tell us the Earth's closed. You couldn't reproduce the global thermodynamic. You couldn't reproduce that even on a smaller scale successful whatsoever at all. And they're telling us on something that wasn't even spinning. I'm saying
right.
You know what I
Even
mean?
if it was still, and it was a round ball, and it was open to this vacuum. It doesn't work, man. And see this again because they've corralled our minds into thinking incorrectly about almost everything we've been taught. Everything. And it's very difficult to renew your mind when our language still fails us, right?
Right.
I just saw Staveley's in the house, huh? That's cool. So our language really fails us, man, because we still say things like, this is going to be a global effort, and this there ain't no such thing as a globe, man.
Well, at 52 years old, I find myself saying the word planets every once in a while. And the minute I do, the chat lights up. Dude, it's like, yeah, dude, I've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying flat Earth for a lot less time. Sometimes I say planet, but most of us know what it means. And if you look it up in Latin, it means a plane, just like universe means one word.
We want to know what actually the word planet means. This is why you can know, because of language, that the Earth is not a planet. Planet means roaming star. We're absolutely not a roaming star.
See, I looked it up a long time ago. Planet. I come up with a plane or a short plane or something to that effect, but I might have looked it up wrong.
Well, that's okay. It probably has multiple meanings if you look it up in a dictionary. But look.
Well, it depends what day you're looking at it, because the next day the dictionary could just change.
Well, that's the other thing, right? That's the other thing we're living in.
Planets was never in this 150-year-old King James version when I first got it. It is now.
Yes, it is. It's in Kings, right? It's in King.
Yeah. Yep. Kings 20 something or other.
Yeah.
Say constellations. Now it simply says planets, and I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah. Well, I'm friends with a fellow named Nathan Roberts. I don't know if you know who he is. He has a book called the Doctrine of the Shape of the Earth, and he's a big flat earther. He goes out and speaks, and he does all this crazy stuff. He and I, in discussions, that was one of their staple statements, is the word planet is not in the Bible. Now it is. And for whatever reason, Nathan denies that the scriptures are changing. But what he does say is it's most likely a mind screw, that they're messing with our minds and they're injecting things into our minds, which they can do.
Yeah, well, we know they can do that. They've used that in commercial advertising. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They put words into people's. You're walking down the street. They have some sort of a mechanism that can put a commercial playing only in your head. That's scary. Right. And on that vein, there's a British fellow that sent me a video that he made, and then a couple of other channels obviously got it and they ran with it. But he's an electrical engineer, and he's taking apart the LED lights over there that they're putting up, the 5G LED lights, and he's showing all the extra equipment that's inside. These aren't light sensors, dude. They're transmitters, and he's showing how I'll run it, and I'll send it first, because I want your opinion on it before I run it, because I can't.
Well, this is an interesting thing about the way light works too. A lot of people, I'm really weird this way. I've been a thinker since I was a child. I was a really weird kid, dude.
You're a really weird dude, so it works out well. You're good. You're consistent.
Yeah, and okay. Here's the thing. Remember when they went from incandescent bulbs to all mercury-laden fluorescence? Yes. Okay. The way light energy works is the elements of the light is actually transferred in the light. So if you put mercury as your light source, guess what's transferring through the light?
Oh my.
Okay.
Mhm.
People again, this is understand. Think about it for a moment, because here's another thing, another interesting little trivia thing. They're putting particulates in the atmosphere, whether it's the solar simulator, which I saw your piece. I already knew it's pretty obvious. It probably is something they got going on up there. They got some kind of mylar giant
How do they keep
reflector.
it up there?
Huh?
How do they keep it up there?
Well, that's electromagnetic flux fields.
All right.
It's literally how the atmosphere works. Layers of atmosphere have different frequencies and levels of energy.
Meaning they can sustain a certain amount of weight the higher they go, or the lower, or something to that effect.
You use the energy that's in the atmosphere already. Potential energy is already in the atmosphere. This is Tesla did this. He would transfer energy from one place to another. It was potential energy in the layers of the air. Every, I want to say 3 meters. We'll say 10 feet, whatever the measurement is. Google it. And it's like 100 volts per 10 feet of potential energy. And somebody said flux capacitor on there. Literally, the Earth, because it is a closed system, is like a giant capacitor. You have this firmament above, way up above, and the ground. It's called ground. We in electrical circuits we call it ground, right?
Dude.
Okay. Yes. So with potential energy, the higher you go, well, you leverage that. Within that potential energy is the potential magnetic field flux within each layer. Well, when you get, I don't know, 100,000 feet, whatever, that potential energy is crazy high. Okay. So they can park a device up there. They also can fluctuate the fields. The fields fluctuate anyway because of the engine that is our weather. You understand that as the sun's moving around, it's changing the potential energy in our atmosphere. Dude, I got arthritis, which sucks because I play guitar and I can feel it when the weather's coming in. It feels like somebody is smashing my body down. Okay. And that's because of those field changes from the weather. We call it barometric pressure, right? I mean, I don't know if you were ever affected by the weather like that.
All the time. Right. I've got titanium. I've got fake pieces.
Oh yeah, you feel it. Yeah,
big time.
Yeah, you're like a nice electromagnetic.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Soak.
And I've seen the X-rays. It looks like the guy was drunk when he put the screws in. They're all pointing in different directions and such. Yeah, it's ugly.
Do you go around saying I'm not an animal?
No, I don't say anything. I almost never mention it, but I got a lot of scars.
Yeah, that's all right, man. I got cerebral palsy for real, and I walk with a limp, and I have pain all the time. Whatever. That's how I look at it.
That's amazing, because you're probably one of the happiest dudes I've ever seen, which freaks me out.
Thanks, brother.
Like, why?
Yeah, God's good, man. Well, you know what? I must.
Happy.
There's this level of stupidity in there, you know.
It has to be. It has to be.
My son, dude, my son needs to come on here with you, because he is a better version of me. Okay, and he chuckles through everything, man, and he already sees. He's only 26 years old. And the dude sees how screwed up the world is. He knows how things work. Now, he didn't work at NASA. He's a professional firefighter.
See, the thing is he's well ahead of the curve, because they're literally banking on everyone coming up behind us to self-censor. They believe the hype. They don't everything. I Googled everything. Well, Google isn't actually research. Google's going to give you the number one answer that Google wants you to have. I mean, try to Google anything anymore that you know to be true, man.
I don't have my phone out here with me. Oh, no, I feel naked. Anyway, so look, if you use a device, you actually get different responses than if you do research on a PC. I kind of beat up on people all the time about this. Do not do research on a cell phone. because it's going to give you certain kind of responses based on the technology that you're using. And also, who goes deeper than the top list of hits when you do the Google search?
Exactly.
I
Nobody goes,
do.
I go to like the 10th page
I
right off
find
the bat.
I don't know how it is. I grew up in California in a time when they actually taught you how to skim, read, and find the subject in a book quickly.
Yep. Yep.
They actually used to have a great education system in California. And so, I can just read through. I skim through. There's the answer. Bam, and find it quick because we can't play. So look, thermodynamics. So you have to have a closed system for our weather to work. And what I just said right now, and I'm telling you tonight, I have never said this to anyone. It literally, it just dawned on me while we're doing the show.
That's why we do this. You know how many epiphanies I've had live?
You
know the author Edward Hendry?
Yeah.
He freaked out one day because we were doing a live stream, and I said, so if all those people at that got killed on the Challenger explosion, and several of them apparently had identical twins, why did we never ever see any of the identical twins from the Challenger victims giving eulogies?
That was a
I mean, are you shitting me? We never even
Epiphany?
heard a word about them, and he almost fell out of his chair. And
Yes.
Edward's an old dude. Sorry, Edward.
It's
Your book's right here, though. So
it's the truth, man. That's absurd that we never saw them before.
you know what I mean? They didn't pop up until YouTube started popping up.
But again, as soon as guys like us and women like us start saying these things, even if we say it calmly,
my God. Women like us. Now there's someone's already started to edit a video that Jesus Freak and Richie from Boston are both women, and they admitted it in a live stream. Here we go. I do it once in a while too, by accident. I'll say something. I'm like, oh man,
listen.
All these women have beards just like me, and they're like, I knew he was a girl.
First of all, no woman wants to look like me or you. I don't even know why women are attracted to men. I mean, I don't have a clue.
Yeah, all the men I know are very, very they're uncleanly.
Yes, it's like whatever. It works for me, but I don't get it. So anyway, no, I'm talking about women who see, women who have understanding. Those few of us in the entire world right now who actually see and have understanding. Oh, and are unafraid to speak the truth, even when everybody's going to scoff and pick at us. I don't give a flip. Do you?
No, but it is tough. I do still find myself restraining when people start, making fun of Christianity, things I just don't say anything as opposed to starting it because I know there's no winning.
You'll probably wind up getting into a fight over it.
No. It's usually with family members, and what I do is I just avoid them now, man.
Right. Well, that's it. But that's just wise, dude. You're not going to win that argument. It ain't happening. I'm talking about the general public.
No, I'm hip. This guy right here just asked Iron 360 said they made a mistake giving us the internet. Maybe they did it they didn't. It wasn't a mistake, dude. This is the best weapon they've ever deployed against.
But the scripture actually, I've been writing about this in my column for years. Is the use of technology to spread the gospel or the truth or anything of this ilk, right? Daniel says that those who do know their God will do exploits. Now, dude, you were military. Now, I'm a technologist. An exploit is when you take something that's designed to do one thing and you leverage it and use it against itself, against the system. You exploit it, right? This is an exploit. Now, at the same time, our enemy is sifting through us, our enemies in this world, right? They're sifting through this. I got a mark on my neck right now. Whatever. I still speak the truth.
I agree.
Yeah. And
they needed this entire platform for a particular purpose. And now they're completely just shutting us down. And after next month, I would imagine almost all of us will be gone.
Well, all of us have said things that we've been wrong on. You've been very accurate over the years. I hope you're wrong about next month. But
the wording in the update that YouTube sent is that at their discretion, if you're not financially valuable, they can get rid of you. I have 340,000 subscribers on a flat line on one channel alone, but it's been demonetized completely. So it's not financially viable, and they hate me. You know what I mean?
It's been demonetized for you. See, just because you and I are not generating income for ourselves doesn't mean that the medium still doesn't generate interest or power or income. And listen, the powers that be they own the money. They don't care about money.
I say that quite often. I don't think they care about money. That's just something they throw around for us to chase.
Yes, they print some more.
I mean, how ridiculous is that God Almighty, the creator of absolutely everything we've ever seen, ever know, and ever will know, gave us dominion on this earth. And these people have coerced us all into voluntarily paying to live here. And if you can't pay, we're going to have to put you in a cell.
Because I don't have my wallet with me either. Pull out the dollar. It's a talisman.
Oh, no, I say that.
Yes.
There's a reason the $1 bill has never been changed, because it's an agreement you're making, whether you understand it. Go ahead, have at it.
It's a talisman. It literally has spiritual power. This is why human beings, will kill other human beings for a green piece of paper. It's unimaginable. It's a talisman. Now look, there's an engine of finance that we leverage. Look, I got a fat belly, so I feed my belly with this engine that uses these things. I do. I got a house. It's nice. We got a nice backyard. My wife and daughter, we drive around in a Nissan. It's nice. It's cool. But money is not real, folks. We are enslaved by that talisman. And then there are those who are really asleep, who kill people for that fake thing, that piece of money. And the powers that be that own the money, and this is something that so many people need to get their head around still, which boggles my mind, but at this point, but they haven't been listening like we have. And so, I got to cut on some slack. Money, my brother's a millionaire, okay, literally. And if I said to him, money's not real, it's fake, he would laugh me out, he'd say it was absurd. But people need to understand that we're enslaved by this system. Just like you said, we have to pay to live in this world. A bear doesn't. How about you even have to pay to get a license to fish?
That's what I was saying. You can't even. If you teach a man to fish, he'll never starve. Well, as long as he
will now, he'll go to jail.
Exactly. You can't camp anywhere. You can't park anywhere. The beach across the street for time immemorial was just a beach. Well, now it's been taken over, and you have to pay to go there, and it's patrolled by cars with lights on it now.
Dude, they're squeezing us down.
Really, really bad.
Yeah. And I have a lot of officers that I'm friends with, cops. And, they're guys I love. But they don't understand that they're actually working, it's so cliche, working for the man. Right. But they're policing and they're enforcing the laws of a lot of evil people. It is what it is, right?
I agree.
You do realize, and we are enemies of the state.
Without a doubt. And I don't want to be an alarmist, but let's not forget that the president of the corporation, I just said this in a live stream the other day, the president of the corporation of the United States of America, Donald Trump, came out and said people that don't believe in NASA, people that don't believe in global warming, people that don't believe 9/11 played out as they said are considered domestic terrorists. That still stands. Just because they didn't make a big deal, they said it once.
Yeah.
And now it's up on the shelf. And when they're ready to take it down, we'll see it.
Yep.
No one else will. You know what I mean? But they can make people go away.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that.
Rather
not-
easily,
Yes.
actually. Yeah.
I've been taken away in iron bracelets
I wonder
dozens
sometimes
of times in this lifetime.
all the years that you've been saying what you say, and man, I've been writing. It's not like I hide or something. You say this too. It's not like we hide.
You're a little bit more high profile just because of your credentials, man.
Well, what I'm getting at is that why we haven't come under any fire. Like I think about that once in a while. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it. Believe me, that would be stupid. But I do wonder, maybe because here's the people that really get taken out are the ones that are really overboard, like they go crazy, the anger. And see, this is why I maintain my sense
Don't ever drink and make videos. There's your number one answer. But I understand what you're saying. I do reel in what I say a little bit. I always try to imagine my own words being used in a video against me or as a exhibit. You know what I mean? Honestly.
Yeah. But my maintaining my sense of humor, I encourage others to maintain their sense of humor. Now, I'm not doing this with a sense of purpose in it. It comes, that's natural to me. But I do. My whole thing is, in an argument, if you're married or you got a girlfriend or even a friend, you get in an argument. Nobody wins. Like, even if you get one up on your friend in a fight, in an argument, nobody wins.
Right.
Okay. And like Manor, you're not going to win this battle by screaming and getting more angry than the bad dudes that are trying to take us all out. It ain't happening. You're not going to win.
Right. So you come across somebody that's got that has the pray for your enemy angle figured out, and I still have an incredibly hard time with that.
That's all right, man.
But I mean, I literally and religiously hit my knees every day numerous times and ask for guidance in the correct direction.
I don't doubt it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah. So, as do I. Listen, brother. Now I'm not putting on a facade in any way, shape, or form. If
you couldn't be, because you'd have to be a professional actor because
you're and I'm not. But all of us, the scriptures say, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Even the best example of Christianity or righteousness or goodness has things in them as a human being that fails them. Period. And if you deny that, you're a liar. Okay. And so it's all right, man. And I've told you offline what my life was like before. I've told you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to glorify all that by repeating it on the thousands of people.
Believe it or not, this particular fella lived a very similar life to a rock star.
Yeah.
No exaggeration.
Yeah. Believe it or not. Yeah.
Which is why he's probably still happy. It just hasn't
because the happiness was flowing.
There it is. There it is.
So look, man. So back to closed system. Actually, you mentioned something a second ago that
it amazes me. You can go on that long and still pull the subject back up. That's because I forgot. I'm sitting here going, I forgot what we were talking about.
No, brother, you said something a second ago that I was like, oh man, I got to remember that because we got to bring it up. You said you got some of those links.
I got them all. I got them. What do you want to see?
Oh, you got that daggone 1587 map, right? You got that one?
I do.
Okay.
David Rumney historical map.
Yeah. That's it.
And it's very strange. I was trying to pull this up. I got it. Boom. There it is.
Great. Okay. So, you can zoom if you move your mouse down to the lower left quadrant and you can, and you got a roller on your mouse. You got one of those rollers wheels.
Yeah.
Okay. You can zoom in on that thing by rolling in. Should double click on it. Try that. No, I know you can roll in on it if you take the wheel and move it forward. Maybe I'm wrong.
I just did it. All right, hold on. I'm sharing it opened up another screen. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay, cool. I get it.
I did get it.
Yeah, that's cool. So look, this is, I know there's a lot of folks that still really have a hard time believing that we live in a flat, enclosed system, even Christians. And I understand, I get that. When I first heard the idea that we live on a flat earth, I laughed. But what I said was, I gotta see this, because the person was serious. They weren't, dumbing in a box of rocks. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me just look at this. When I listened to their reasoning, none of it really contained any scriptural references whatsoever. And it was Mark, what's his name? Sargent.
Yeah.
But I know.
I didn't say anything.
But look. But I listened to his flat Earth clues, and I was like, oh, wow. And I never thought about that. If you just listen to reason and listen to what he says. Now, I'm not advocating all of his other beliefs or anything, but that was a fabulous work that opened up the idea of how we lived in a enclosed world and what's really going on with places like Antarctica, right? So look, check out that lower left quadrant, because you're moving it around. But look, see that little
lower left?
Yeah, right.
Am I going in the right direction?
Yeah, yes, you are. Because that is that. Now, if you notice, the sun is red and it's showing it's going down.
Yeah.
That is what on that map. That is west. West, according to the scriptures. Okay. North, if you zoom back out, if you can, is not the center, what we call the North Pole, which is the center of that map. You can see it. It's like a little dot in the center. Yeah.
Right here, right?
That's right. Now, I've been to that area of the world. That's what we call the North Pole. But when you hear things, you read things in the scripture like the mountain in the north. There's no land at the North Pole. It's floating sheets of ice in the Arctic. There is no land. So the North on this map that was made in, what was it, 1587 or something?
Very, very long time.
Yeah. Look, there's the North up in the far left top. That's the direction of north. Okay.
How can you tell which way is north from this, David?
God's holy mountain. Because look, scroll out back from it again. Yeah. So India is in the east. That's something that we've all heard forever, right?
Right.
Look at India is up in the pointing towards the far top right quadrant. The sun is coming up in the east. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and here's another thing. These maps were made in the time period that the artists, the creators made them. There's another map that's from the same era, like 100 or so years within. Demonstrates the same details of the land masses. This is what's really interesting. Is in the 1500s. This is prior to 1600, of course. Duh. Look, these land masses have details in them. The Antarctic areas were not frozen over with ice then.
Well, yeah. I mean, I told a lot of people listening right now will completely understand that, because there's way too many maps going way, way back that were credible, that were used by all sorts of, authority figures, that suddenly when the computer showed up, those aren't real. Those are fake.
But they're using this next generation, like you started to mention a while ago. This next generation, if it's not on a PC or a tablet, it doesn't exist.
Right. And it's brilliant. It's a brilliant plan.
Yeah. But these people that lived in that era, if you read a letter, who said this? It might have been a fellow on your show. I've been saying this for years, and I was listening to him going, oh my God, now I got to talk to this guy. If you read the writings of Joe Regular Guy, a farmer.
Oh, yeah.
from the 1500s and the 1600s, they were profoundly literate, but we were told that everybody was illiterate, and that's why we had to create an education system. That is literally a lie from the
exact opposite. Like I said, James Corbett put out 2 documentaries on how big oil took over the country and why big oil, and in it explains that in the late 1800s, the literacy rate for Americans, every American, farmers, whatever, was up in the 90s. And we're talking Latin, true history, the Bible, all this stuff. And then they, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, all these people start donating to colleges, getting on the boards, and next thing you know, America just goes straight down. And I mean, it's not even a secret. Look up the rest of the earth compared to America. We're bottom of everything, and no one seems to notice that. That was Brandon talking about the old Civil War letters. He read them, man.
They're profound. When I read the writings of the people we call the founding fathers, of not the presidential level founding fathers. I'm talking about people who came to this land to start a new country. They were most of them were Christian. And even when they weren't Christian, they lived what we would consider Christian lifestyles. It took a very, very strong, willful person to travel all that ocean on a sailboat in the 1600s. Okay. These people were profoundly literate. And it's another lie that has been propagated on the people, that we're the most educated people. My God, that is so not true. And all you have to do is, and the other problem is who actually cares enough to take the time to go find out and really research and look at how people really lived back then. They just take the soundbite. Oh my God. They teach quotes from Oprah in history class now. Okay. I mean, come on.
Right. It's crazy. It's totally, absolutely crazy to me.
We've lost our ever-loving minds, folks. We've lost our ability to think, to process. And the scripture, I think it's in Hebrews, I could be wrong, that the way you discern good from evil is by reason of use. You actually have to use your mind to be able to learn to use your mind. Imagine that.
Can you break that down just a touch?
What's that?
Can you break that down just a little bit?
In the scripture, it says that people, they can't discern good from evil because by reason of use, lack of use, because they haven't practiced thinking.
Yeah, well, that's isn't that what everything in the last 10 years? That's what what are you doing? I'm playing a game on my phone where I'm poking colors. And I can't stop doing it. I've been doing it for hours.
Do you ever wonder? I think about this. Candy Crush. Now, I only know that name because, sorry, dude, I do watch TV. Guilty. There's a few shows we enjoy, okay? So this game, Candy Crush, it's this stupid freaking game. And all it is a mind soak and a time soak. Worse.
But many brilliant people sat down and they figured out the color sequence, the frequency, and the time of use, and it's firing the same synapses in your brain as shooting heroin.
They don't.
Perfect.
First of all, it's free, and they have an ad campaign, and I know what television advertisement costs.
Huge.
Yes. Dude. So how do you have an ad campaign with all this 3D graphics? It's well-produced commercial, and like in prime time. Multiple times throughout an hour, Candy Crush. And they show some woman smashing with a hammer or whatever the heck. There's got to be an agenda. They're not making money with this thing.
Well, it's the same. That what you just said is the same exact thing that Google and YouTube are doing. They're literally costing themselves. They're losing money by what they're doing to anybody that's not carrying the public water.
But brother, see,
because it's an agenda.
Right. See, okay, but here our language just did us a disservice because nobody cares about losing money because it's not about money. And this is another thing that I hear people say a lot. Oh, they're spending our tax money. NASA, for example, they're spending $110 million a day of our tax money. Folks, it ain't your tax money. It ain't. None of the money is yours. Look on the note. It's a promissory note. It's a loan. We get paid with a loan. So there's no real money. It's just this engine of commerce that drives everything. And it's literally moving one debt from another. It's almost like the daggone thermodynamics. Okay.
Daggone it.
What's that?
Daggone it.
Daggone. That just doesn't fit you, man. So look. So the whole commerce system. How many of us have heard?
Oh, did I leave that Sandy Hook was a hoax thing up there really way too long? I'm sorry, YouTube. I apologize.
Yes, no, it wasn't a hoax. It was real.
It was real. And they honored those children by having 12 similarly shaped aged children show up at the Super Bowl and sing because that's totally normal.
And that father that came out when his daughter was killed and was laughing hilariously beforehand, that was real too.
Yeah. At any rate.
Parker.
At any rate.
Parker.
Yep. Robbie Parker.
Yes. Always the Parkers.
At any rate. All right.
At any rate.
The land of fire.
Yes, it's called Terra del Fuego, which is land of fire. Terra, earth, right?
Yep.
So what's happening, first of all, if you don't already understand that the earth is flat and enclosed, none of this is going to make sense. That's got to be a given in your mind. Okay. So when you read Enoch, the book of Enoch,
or listen to it because it's still up on you. It's up on one of my channels.
Yeah, it is.
Listen to the whole thing. I've listened to it a million times.
I think that's fabulous that you did that, man.
It's astounding. It's amazing stuff. But at any rate, go ahead.
Well, it sounds mythological and over the top, and it's like, some sci-fi story. Well, that's also a plan of the enemy. Our world is supernatural. It is decidedly spiritual and supernatural. And so what we've been told is mythology is actually history, folks. It's history.
Can you say that? And I'm asking you, even though there's 1,800 people watching right now, I'm asking you straight up. Can you say that and then go to bed at night and say, you know what? I just told a bunch of people something very important. Or are you going to go to bed and say, maybe I shouldn't have said that?
No, man.
Well, I'll tell. Then here's the deal. Here's the deal.
I get it. All right.
When I found the book of Enoch,
yeah,
it made what I was looking at in the skies every night make so much more sense. Because why is it that this star seems to be making sure I can't take a picture? Every time I try to focus, it goes out of focus, even though the camera's not moving. It's like it's watching me. And then I started thinking, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah. I remember coming home and telling Mrs. RFB at the time, we were never married. It was just something I called her before people freak out.
Yeah.
But I came home and I said, when I met her, I was explaining to her son about the constellations and like that's the noise. And they're like, you're always outside at night. I'm like, I watch the skies. I came home one night and said, I have to tell people it is flat. That's water up there. I can tell, it's not atmospheric. It's water. It's water. It's water. It's water. It's water. And those things up there are not distant, giant nuclear iters or whatever they claim they might be. They're
another thing
luminaries.
Too.
We got it. We got it.
Yeah, man. Is that our sun? Since you brought it up just now, first of all, the stars are luminaries.
Exactly.
They are an angelic class. We use the word angel as like this catch-all phrase for these beings that worship God in heaven, and they come down and they speak for God. Angelos in the Greek, I believe. I was going to show this in a second, by the way. That angel means like trumpeter, speaker for God. Okay, it means the one who trumpets, speaks for what God says. So, but there are classes of angels. And one of those classes is the luminaries. And God put them in these places. Well, Dave, that's like a little naive, childlike statement. No, folks, listen. Again, if you believe the scriptures, I'm just saying, it says in the end of days, the moon will not give its light, and the sun will go dark, and the stars will fall from heaven to earth.
I find this strange that the moon is humongous in Southern
Oh, yeah,
California tonight
It is.
when it's right outside my house, and it's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. I'm in
Well-
South Carolina, and it was in my rearview mirror coming home. I was talking to my dad, and it made me literally yell out, "Whoa!" It was huge in my rearview window. Mirror.
Well, seeing how you brought the Book of Enoch up, Enoch explains to us how many times the moon comes in and out of portals. So I started traveling the country and getting it coming out of the ocean, coming out of mountains. Every time that it comes up, it is a ball of what appears to be plasma, and it's getting ready. And then it turns into a solid white disc, and then the temperature outside, it starts emulating cold air right off the bat. You can feel it.
It gives off, the light gives off cold. How that is.
Somebody's looking at it in California, as far away in the United States as you can be from me right now. I'm on the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And the moon's right outside. I mean, it's right outside my window, but they're seeing it even larger where they are.
And it
makes no sense.
It's lighting up. It's leaving shadows from my tree, from my ground.
Right.
It's so bright.
Right. It's small and white right now, but it's enormous in California right now. How does that even work?
Well, they would say that it is atmospheric lensing.
I know.
And listen, even that is remotely possible still as an aspect of this closed system we live in. That is still a possible cause for those visual effects we see. The moon is not 240,000 miles away.
No, not at all. The moon, I've caught the moon way too many times. It's shrouded in the clouds, man.
And remember, I grew up at 12 years old. I wanted to be an astronaut. I was a NASA fanboy. I got space and science and NASA books from 12 years old to about 16 years old.
Dave.
And then I worked at NASA. So
how are people saying they're seeing a full moon in Brazil and the UK right now? That can't be accurate. How are you seeing a full moon in California and the UK and in Brazil right now?
Well, you can if the Earth is flat.
Are you guys, Fernando, are you guys messing with us?
Yeah, really.
Just said it too.
Well, Brazil is in South America.
Right.
But so Australia is on a globe, is on the other side, southern hemisphere. It used to be the land down under. Now it's not. It's up against all the West Indies. Not West Indies.
I saw.
Yeah, it's not, dude.
Well, that's the only thing. The only thing with those particular Mandela effects about the placements of the countries and stuff. They've been lying about that forever.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So I have a hard time with that.
I know, because
JFK was in a 4-seater. Tiananmen Square, the tank ran the dude over.
Listen,
that's what Chinese guys do.
I have no reservation. I love you for saying that, man. That's JFK was a 4-seater, dude.
It's a 4-seater at the John F. Kennedy Museum. It's a museum to the dude. And they got we couldn't it's a Mustang GT, but we couldn't get a hold of sorry. It's a Schwinn 10-speed, but it's still a museum.
But there, I have explanations for all of that, but it wasn't really. It would take us into a 4-hour show. So look, we're in an enclosed system, folks. The way the engine of our weather works, it wouldn't function in anything but a closed system, because the transfer of heat energy, the way our weather systems function from the sunlight energy, which is focused, by the way, it's not what makes the sky blue. And all of those things, and the water vapor, and all of those things that are the components of the engine of our weather, would not function in an open system that has the atmosphere up against a vacuum. It's enclosed. That said, in Enoch, it basically demonstrates that the angels who were kept in chains under darkness were let loose. That when they were released, that the place where they were at will be frozen over. They were kept in chains under darkness, according to what I've seen in the area of the Antarctic. Okay.
You and a lot of people that have studied this thing came up with that exact topic
Well,
or exact guesstimation of
I'm not
area.
selling this thing because we're not going to go. We're not going to call up all the scriptures and read line for line. I challenge everyone listening to this. That guy David, he's crazy. I have the Book of Enoch on my website as a PDF, and so you can go through the scriptures and read it. By the way, the Book of Enoch is scripture because Jesus Christ said so.
Right. I find it funny when people, I'm a Christian YouTuber, but it's not canonized. Well, dude, let's think about who canonized anything that's in the Bible, allegedly. The same guys that have a statue of Moloch outside the Colosseums right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, are you kidding me, dude?
Well, that's a good point right there. But it is a slippery slope when we start denying all of the fathers of the faith. And I'm not doing that. What I'm going by is what I'm doing. The only thing I'm doing is I'm going by who's the object of our faith. It is Christ Jesus. I'm going by what he said. And I have one really good example, really good, solid example that Jesus said it's scripture. And it's this story where the Pharisees come up to Jesus and they're trying to trip him up. I'm speaking in my own way. This isn't the way it says it in the Bible. They're trying to trip him up. And they give him this story. A woman marries a man, he dies. She marries his brother, he dies. She marries his brother, he dies. Who shall be her husband in the next life? They ask Jesus. They're trying to trip him up. You know what I mean? Jesus says, you err because you do not know the scriptures. For we shall be as the angels are, being neither male nor female, nor taking in marriage. Okay? Now, where does that say that in what we call the canon of scripture? In the Bible, in the Old Testament is the only place it could possibly say that Jesus is referring to. And it's not there. So when Jesus says, well, you err because you don't know the scriptures, and he's talking about this example they're giving, and he says, you'll be like the angels, not taking in marriage. The only place that is said, Richie, is in the Book of Enoch. It's flat out stated in the Book of Enoch. Okay? So that to me is all the proof I need. When Jesus says you err because you don't know the scriptures, and he's quoting from Enoch, Enoch is scripture. Jude quotes directly from Enoch. Enoch is scripture. I've been saying for years that if you don't understand the Bible with the supernatural aspects that are included in the book of Jasher and Enoch, at least, that you actually don't understand what you're reading.
It's amazing the attack by the mainstream church against the fact that the Bible is actually supernatural. It's amazing,
man. The mainstream church really is. The mainstream church is really worldly at its core now. Satan has crept in unawares. The enemy has.
What do you think about the Temple of Satan going for their 501c3? Isn't that insane? Oh, no, without a doubt, with ease.
Look, in all fairness, they have to get it. You can't deny it to one faith and say you can't have it over here. Oh, that's cool, man. That's very sweet, Catalina.
Catalina, that's crazy. Yeah. That freaks me out to this very day. That I've heard that a zillion times now.
Yeah.
You know what else is freaking me out, NASA guy?
What's that?
How is it that we have a full moon in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Texas, California, Arizona, Poland, Brazil?
Well, here's what you want to do.
Dude, what is that?
We know it'd be really cool is if every one of us had a camera and we all
if you have a camera, take a picture right now with
but like went live and shared it and put our name, Full Moon from Poland, put our name under it and all did a gathering like this.
You're the computer guy. We can do. What can we do?
We can do it. How many people can you get in on this
15. And we could have shared this. If I got you in time, we could have shared this on your channel at the same time. I know how to do that.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I did. I was doing that with Photo Helixes one day. I put them, another one you hate, my Facebook channel. Look, I told you.
I heard you.
My family is on Facebook. I have a large family, and none of them live near me. None of them go to church, and that's the only way I can really connect with them.
All right, but listen, on another note,
Yes.
whatever country you're in, if you can get a picture right now of the full moon with a timestamp, send it to rjcjr10@yahoo.com.
Yeah. And as soon as we
Because
hang up here,
this is
I'll run out
freaking
with
me
my
out.
phone and do it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm not that. I grew up locked in a room most of my life, for real. Family, love, all that crap is not really all that much to me, even though I moved in to take care of my grandmother for the last 5 years, and I literally held her hand as she left this mortal coil. And then I did it with one of my mean, angry old aunts because nobody else did it. So apparently I do have something going on inside. But
Hey, face it,
I'd
Richie.
rather just walk away, you know. I'm telling my aunt who's a professor about chemtrails 10 years ago, and now she still doesn't believe it, even though it's in Harvard. It's Harvard's website. It's been up for 2 years. It's not a secret anymore.
Brother,
So that pisses me off, you know.
face it, Richie. You're a class act, dude.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know about that. Oh, you're killing me, Shannon J.
What's that, man? Oh, I don't see. I couldn't see the live. I wanted to see the chat live, and I can't see it.
Why?
I don't know. Ask YouTube. They kept it from me. They're holding out from me.
I'm watching it on YouTube just
RFB.
muted. That's all.
I don't see anything live from RFB.
RFB2.
RFB2.
There you go.
Well, whatever. So look,
This is a NASA scientist. Imagine that. It took him that long to figure that out. Unbelievable.
is that what we're on? Is that where I'm at?
We are.
So okay.
All right. So land Terra del Fuego.
Terra del Fuego.
I'm not married, dude. I just thought I explained that. You guys kill me. I think you're just breaking my balls.
Well, here we have
I haven't been married in like 20 years. I was divorced in the newspaper while I was incarcerated because that's how you have to do it in Massachusetts.
Wow.
Been married once. I'm not anymore.
Wow.
And I'm not looking to get married.
Wow.
I'm all set.
I got a dude down here in South Carolina. When you're on your map, you know the whole prison thing. I taught prison inmates, so I know about it. So I had a dude. He works the garbage. We have local garbage dumps for free. You take your trash there. There's this dude, and his wife decided she's dumping him. And so I pray with him and I talk to him. He's cool. He's all right. And but he's still got a daggone couple years to go before he gets out. It freaking sucks, dude. He got like 25 years for
pot,
cocaine, or.
And it's amazing, dude, because you know all the drugs that you can't flood a country with tons of drugs without the DEA.
I wonder how
he gets military helping you. It just doesn't work like that. They could give me a small crew and some planes, and I could stop it all myself.
Yeah,
but they don't, because it's always them behind there. DEA tries to bust the cartels, and the CIA steps in.
I'm going to make a statement, but I stand by what I say. All drugs should be illegal. All.
All drugs should be illegal?
Legal.
Oh.
All. The reason why is
I think I agree with you if that was 50 years ago and not now, because they promote it so much.
Well, no, but I'm not
glamorize, they glamorize rehab, all that stuff.
I'm not saying that people should do drugs. What I'm saying is the legality issues are what causes the real problem.
No, I'm hip. The dudes that are in jail right now in Massachusetts for carrying hypodermic needles, and now they're legal. Dudes that are in jail for marijuana, and now it's on. I mean, it's not even legal in Mass.
They used to sell paraphernalia in record stores when I was growing up. You could
remember that High Times.
You could buy a bong as tall as my head in a record store when I was a kid.
What's a record? Imagine that, Dave.
I know, man. But I'm not an advocate for people getting stoned. Look, alcohol's legal, and I don't drink, man.
I don't drink either.
Yeah.
If I drank, you would have seen me in a video. Richie from Boston is a dick when he's drunk.
Oh, you would have failed your channel a long time ago, right?
Two ways about it.
Oh yeah, man. So all right. So closed system. We live on a flat Earth. It's enclosed. What's up, Awaken? That's right, man. He's right. And Tavistock. If y'all haven't heard of the Tavistock Institute, look up Tavistock. Check out what they do.
No, we've gone over that a million times. I know, so they should know.
Tavistock. Everybody knows the CIA. They look up Tavistock. Yeah. So So the realm we live in is decidedly enclosed. It's flat. It is a closed system. All right. So it turns out that the Watchers now in the Book of Enoch, this is the Apocrypha right here. I have a copy, hard copy, but I've got it on my website, the Book of Enoch. Y'all should check it out.
Is that book you just held up? Is it accurate? Has it been changed at all? Updated, I should say.
It's pretty good. I noticed there were a few words in it that weren't exactly the same as my PDF copy of Enoch. But it wasn't so bad that I was like, oh, this is made me burn this. It was a couple of little words, but
I got you. I'm just asking because I know you're well versed. No pun intended.
Here's the thing: is I've got an NLT Bible, I got a KJV, a bunch of them. I got New King James. I got the language, and all of them are slightly different, in all of them. And so we've been trusting all of these prints, all these books from people for centuries. And so you have to use discernment. You have to test all things to see if they be true, right? And test the spirit. I'm not saying read this book and then, live according to it. I'm just saying, check it out. Hey, Dana, what's up?
What's up, Dana?
Hey, listen, I'm a big fan, Dana. I listen to your stuff every time you come out.
She's a hell of a cook, and her daughter still owes me $20 worth of black. I forget what it was. Black matter of some sort. I'll just come get it.
Is Dana selling black goo?
She is. She's good like that. Her daughter's actually even better at it.
That's great.
I'll just come get it. Don't send it. Don't.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll probably both get arrested if you send me
black goo in the mail.
Dark matter.
Yeah, that's it, man. I got a felony for it. Yeah, man. Come on.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. So many people that got hit for that stuff, and now it's legal.
Understand, let me just restate that. I'm not an advocate for everybody getting stoned. I'm an advocate for freedom. True freedom. I heard this story where these kids were drying some flowers. They were flowers, dude. Like regular old flowers, and they were smoking them. You know what the response from the local government was? Make the flowers illegal.
Right.
That's asinine. Whatever. So it drives me insane. So the Angels left that area of the Antarctic. It turns out about the same time that we had this industrial revolution. If you look back through our history, our known history that we've all been taught to, not the 2014 version of history, but what you and I grew up with. There was this pattern, this amazing influx of knowledge and technology that changed the way we did everything, right? And a lot of that was radio communications, microwave, radar, things like bouncing radio communication signals off of the stratosphere.
Right.
And they would literally, mind you, this is not something about, it was nefarious. This is common knowledge. You can heat up the stratosphere and change the shape of the stratosphere so it becomes parabolic, and you can change the direction of a bounce signal and literally point it.
Right. That was the whole premise behind all the HAARP.
Yes.
Super happy fun factories.
Yes, man. And so, but I know a lot of people probably don't know about this. And when they hear it coming from us, it sounds like this is crazy, kooky conspiracy guys. This is common ham radio knowledge.
Right. But not a lot of people are common ham radio people, which is why I have to put your old credentials in the title, because it lends you credibility.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? You got to use whatever we got here, man.
I know. I get it. It pains me a little bit, though, because
I'm sorry, but F you.
Ooh, feel the love.
Right? Washing over your skin.
I feel so dirty now.
Nice.
So look. So the angels, it turns out around the same time those angels supposedly have come from the Antarctic, we got this influx of knowledge. Now you have to understand Old Testament scripture with an understanding of Enoch, right? So let me see if I can grab the right mouse because I got too many gadgets on my desktop here. So I'm gonna look at the book of Enoch. I think it's in verse 10, chapter 10 rather. It's funny about the book of Enoch. The chapters are really oddly, they're like 2 paragraphs or something.
Right. It is. I find that strange too. But when you listen to it, it's not. You don't notice that quite as much. I read it the first couple of the Book of Enoch. I've gone over. I've read and listened to that thing dozens and dozens of times on the road because it's legit. It's legit.
Well, it is legit, brother. So, and people, I'm gonna say it again.
Melissa, just tap on the chat and it stops. I'm not slowing anything down right now. This is enough work for me as it is.
Yeah, was it crazy right now? I can't see it. So, in chapter 8 of the book of Enoch, you know, Satan, we've heard it said he has many names.
Yeah.
So, moreover, it says here, moreover, Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, the use of paint, the beautifying of the eyebrows, the use of stones for every valuable and select kind, and all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered. There's another place where it really literally says that they taught women the use of makeup, and they also taught them how to abort babies with roots so that they would keep their beautiful shape.
Well, here's the deal. If you've ever seen the Dead Sea Scrolls in a museum, in the case, everything that was found next to the Dead Sea Scrolls, for whatever reason, you're not allowed to take pictures, blah, blah, blah. I went and saw them 3 times at the Museum of Science when they were here, and it was super high security. They don't even want you looking at it too long because it could damage them. But all around it, all the other artifacts were women's makeup. And I couldn't stop thinking about that. I couldn't stop thinking about that. I don't know what the correlation is, but
oh man, no. That's proof of the pudding. That's proof in the pudding right there, man.
Well, lay it out. What do you mean?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, here's the time where you got supposedly a bunch of people living in dirt caves, and the women are putting on makeup.
Right. Right. And there was and some of these 2,000-year-old things were pretty fancy little decanters and whatnot. You know what I mean? And they stood the test of time.
But my point is that we've had technology before, literally had tech. This is not something. I'm just throwing this out there. In the pyramids, first of all, we have pyramids of like design all over the world in diverse places. I mean,
no doubt.
All right. Inside those pyramids, there are structures that are like what's called waveguides. Now, a waveguide is like when you put a daggone cone up to your ear and you can hear the sound louder. That's a waveguide for audible frequencies. A waveguide literally physically guides electromagnetic radiation, radio communications. This is over the top crazy. They had technology like the internet before the flood.
Do you see this comment? Sorry, before the flood. Use this channel to promote the word of God. You are big on this platform. People, are you new, dude? Did you just? Oh my God!
No, it's cool. We are promoting the word of God.
Well, it's.
But okay. Oh,
what do you mean by a waveguide in the pyramids? Because I've studied the insides as much as they've allowed us to.
There are structures that go down long into chambers all the way up to the top.
All right. I know what you're talking about.
They're at an angle.
Yeah, I'm hip.
And the way, if you want to, I can't use non-techie language. If you want to propagate a signal, you use a waveguide because it ignores all the other frequencies. It guides whatever frequency you're sending, and you put it at a specific angle. What's up, K Smalls? And
look at the face. Look at the pic. Look at the thumbnail. Look at the face. That's real nice, K.
So waveguide, they're shooting this signal at a certain angle to get the most distance out of it. Okay. If space is why, right? Why build the tower? Because they were simple-minded simpletons who just didn't know what they were doing. They were silly people who thought they were going to kill God, which was, by the way, a silly idea.
They probably shouldn't have told God that.
What's that?
They probably shouldn't have told God that.
Well, God came down and said, "Hey, let's see what they're up to." Remember, in the story in Genesis, he says he comes down and sees what they're up to. He says, "Now, anything they think to do, they will accomplish." And so he scattered them by confusing.
Bunch of babbling fools.
Yeah, well, lest we forget, the Tower of Bab-el means gateway to God. Bab-el. Okay.
You're good at this, man. You're good at this. I never knew. I just knew it meant babbling. Babbling.
Yeah, we use it as Babel because that was the result of what they were trying to do. But Bab-el means gateway to God. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Words are telling. Yeah. It's cool. Language is cool, man. It's when you look at how words have evolved over time. So I think this is something that Big Sib said the other night. He basically, it must be in 10, because there's a statement in here. I just read it a little while ago, and it says basically that they taught men all of the secrets of the heavens. Okay. We know what it was is what I just said a while ago. They gave men technology. Wait a minute. They gave them technology. They taught men all the secrets that were in heaven, which means that what we call technology already exists in the spirit realm. It already exists in the spirit realm. We think, oh, this is so great. It already exists in the spirit realm. Okay. So, all right. So these angels come out. We get this huge influx of tech, all kinds of crazy stuff. They used a war. You know, wars. Have you ever noticed wars can sometimes be used to distract people?
Unbelievably, yes. Yep. And they even joke about it in television shows like that show House of Cards, which they're always in the White House, and you know that they have to run this by the White House to make sure it's can we put this in? Absolutely. So you know they have to sign off because it's too intertwined.
Yes.
They say that all the time. Oh, we're about to get ready. They're going to arrest us. Quick. What do? We start a war. They do it for any reason. They don't care because they don't go. They don't pay for it.
They don't care. It's a bloodletting. It is the ultimate.
That's why all the soldiers wear all the symbolism, man. Look at all the stuff that we had to wear.
Brother, it's the ultimate blood sacrifice to Moloch. Every war is. It's the ultimate, because the nation that fights in the war grows in financial stature, grows in power. And that's what they used to put their children through the belly of Moloch, right? They put it in the fire. And then they'd have a great harvest the following year. That's what wars are, man. That's all we're doing. It's just a much larger scale effort of that. That's all it is, man. It sucks. Here we just have, it's today's veteran. It's today, right? Right now.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Listen, when I say these things, it's not to offend the men who have given up, if not their life, they've given up parts of their heart for what they've experienced. Yeah, brother. Listen,
big time.
They deserve all the honor, everything. What really sucks is that Satan has deceived us all. He's deceived them too. It sucks. It ticks me off.
It should tick everyone off, because when you and I were just little children, war was still a bone of contention. It wasn't something people jumped into easily whatsoever. When our parents and grandparents were children, war was something nobody wanted to go to, and if enough people stood their ground, the government would have to figure out a way to set it up. Pearl Harbor.
They would use the Hegelian dialectic, and they would cause
every time. But these days, people can't wait to get to war. Look at how the police officers and soldiers dress. Look at how I dress. I still dress like I'm in the military because it's learned behavior. You know what I mean? But they're dying to go and kill them a towel head, shoot them a haji, kill them a skinny.
Man, you know what? Here's how you kill
USA.
Here's how you cure yourself of that. Watch all the bloodied children, that imagery and video you can.
I'm happy.
Brother, I cried out the first time I started really waking up to the truth of what our wars are, what we were doing in the Middle East. I was a Navy brat, man. I was go USA.
I was born I was born at Fort Belvoir, Virginia during Vietnam.
And when I started seeing what was really happening in the world and what we were doing, it was painful. And look, and I'm not saying these things to beat up on we got, man.
That's a great song.
What's that?
Counting bodies like sheep to the rhythm of the war drums.
I've never heard it, man.
Oh, it's a song by Tool, who all have actual.
Oh, yeah. I used to play.
Yeah. Counting bodies like I used to start my videos with that song. You can still find them.
Oh yeah, well I'm gonna look it up in a second. Play it for the tail end.
I can't.
Yeah. So look, man, yeah, because you'll get tagged, right? So
no, I don't know about that. I just don't. It's not without the visuals. The song sounds like they're all about it, but they're just showing the television, the Bush family. They show the whole thing. They lay out what they're talking about.
I know
it's phenomenal.
It is phenomenal.
Here's one thing. A lot of people keep saying this, and I propagated this forever, that CERN is going to tear the veil. I think CERN is just part of the machine, and I think ITER is going to be they wouldn't be spending so much money building a tokamak, which is theoretically won't even work. It's like creating massive chaos, correct?
No, it's a focal point. Okay, that's what you said a while ago. That the stars are not little suns, little nuclear furnaces. We gotta get our minds out of that too, brother. No offense.
No, it's all, no. I know. I wasn't. It's not. I don't think that at all. I think the sun and the moon are a him and a her, just like it says in the Bible.
It's cool. Look, the sun is plasma. It is a portal to a source of energy that is on the other side in the spirit realm. The sun is not a big ball of nuclear furnace. That we've been duped, and so that we think in that manner, right? That way they could sell us that those little tiny stars out there are little big giant furnaces burning. It's absurd. And those luminaries, that class of angels, we see them as twinkling stars, but that's how they express in this realm. That's not what they literally are, like little twinkles, and they're just, that's how it is expressed in this realm. Am I making sense?
Yes. Okay. I'm pulling something up while you're talking, but I am listening.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And so it's we need to, who's that from?
That's mine. That's coming right out of the Atlantic Ocean, and it is literally a ball of plasma. No, it's not live, dude.
Oh, I thought you had a camera live out there.
No, this is the harvest moon that was coming up, the once in every million years or whatever. This thing, you can see it. The little dark spots on the moon are literally organizing. They're moving. You can see it. I could see it with the naked eye. You can still see it. And then it turns into a solid white object and starts emulating cold air.
Here's what, though. It also, that undulating look could literally be because you're near your visual. The moon's not near the ocean, but your perspective is. You're looking at the moon through the water and the reflective properties of the moisture in the air. I get what you're saying, that it's like it's collecting itself.
Right. But then I've got it coming out of the Sierra Mountains doing the exact same thing.
Oh, that's a whole different story.
2000. Well, that's why I did it, because I didn't put this up till I did that. Okay. Same exact thing coming out of the mountains. And then everyone here telling us they're looking at the moon while I'm looking at it. It's behind my house. It's still east of my house.
What I'm saying is, when I watched that, because you had a 4K version of it, and I watched it as the highest definition I could watch it, and we would be told that was atmospheric.
I said it in the video, atmospheric lensing.
Yeah.
But these dark spots on here are literally moving around. They're not moving around fast, but they're not stationary.
Yeah. It's the moon is self-illuminated. It's not what we've been told, folks.
At all. And in this video, it's coming up over the quote unquote horizon, and the sun has just set 2 hours previous on the other horizon, 180 degrees away. So theoretically, the Earth should be casting a shadow, giving us the phases of the moon, and none of that's happening. It's all shit.
I know, man. But again, they control the what's the word I'm looking for? They control what we call science, right? these priests, these white-coated priests of scientism, they control what it is that's supposed to be true and what we can say. You know, you and I have no right to talk about this because we're not scientists. We're not approved. I don't have any peer-reviewed papers. Well, who gives a flip? I don't want any papers reviewed by those guys if they're got to be my peers. I mean, I'm not interested.
And that's what makes it so tough trying to present an argument against their own stuff, because the only thing you can give people that they're like, that's just what you think. Well, how do you pull up science when we know that all of science is absolutely nonsensical? Well, CERN's entire mission statement was, we're going to build this enormous facility that's going to cover 2 countries, 300 feet underground, and we're going to try to recreate the moments after the Big Bang. That theory on its fate, if you're going to create the moments after the Big Bang, it seems like that would be a problem. No, like, wouldn't there be like a Big Bang or it's just, and then suddenly, we're trying to actually gather resources from other dimensions. The story changes and nobody cares.
Well, they did speak some truth there. That was a Bernoulli or whatever his name was.
Yes, he was the head. He was the head boffin. They stay boffin in the UK.
Oh yeah, yes. He was Mr. Baphomet. Anyway, I quoted that in a column I wrote called "We Should Be Concerned." It was in the newspaper, and
I used your column in a video.
Oh, awesome!
That exact.
I was amazed. I'm always amazed when they will publish in this little town. It's several counties it gets distributed to, but still, in South Carolina, the Bible Belt, they will publish his stuff. The word science in its archaic version of definition is knowledge of any kind. That's what science means. So
knowledge of any kind.
Yes. Anytime we say science tells us, knowledge tells us, when you say it that way, it's absurd. That's all science is knowledge. And now, there is the practice of the scientific method that they no longer follow, by the way, right? They postulate theories and they sell them as if they are facts and solid foundational things, and they're not.
And that's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that people aren't freaking out about that. You know what I mean?
I love
any scientist that doesn't agree with the status quo loses his funding and then just gets pushed to the side. And then suddenly 11,000 scientists say that we need to spray the sky completely, or we're going to have to eat our own offspring to save the earth.
Well, okay. That's another thing that you said a while ago I wanted to touch on is about, they call it global warming. You know, I use this term as a drop of truth in an ocean of lies.
Yeah.
There's some truth in the fact that the earth is warming, and that's this whole thing with Antarctica. In the scripture, it says that the devil, the Antichrist, and Satan, the Antichrist and the false prophet will be cast into the lake of fire, as will also all of those who follow after them. Okay. What's happening is we found out, you have the links to the fact that there's like tons of lava flows underneath the Antarctic ice right now. Do you have those links?
I do.
Yeah.
Right here.
Well, we better wrap this thing up, dude.
Yeah, soon. Yeah. We'll do a part 2 and finish it up. I didn't mean to grab you on such short notice.
No,
just FYI, Stefan Molyneux is a jerk off. Sorry, guys. He has been for a long time. He tells you a little bit and then gives you mostly bullshit. And he just says, he speaks so well. He's somebody with an accent that people they're endeared by him. He's an absolute jerk off. Sorry to tell you. All right, here's one of them.
So,
do you want volcanic activity is melting the glacier?
What's the headline on that? Because I can't see it. I don't even know what it is.
My bad. Stefan got me all pissed
You're
off.
cool. There you go. The greatest concentration of volcanoes has been found in Antarctica. That's from 2017 there, brother. See that? August 14th?
Yep.
Now check it out. Turns out there's a whole lot of live volcanoes. Now, I knew of one. I was in McMurdo and they had Erebus. Okay. That was a live volcano. All right. So it turns out there's all these lava flows under miles of ice. Don't ask me how it is that they
That makes perfect sense.
well, but wait a minute. It does from a prophetic perspective, because the angels, in the colloquial modern way to say, the angels left that joint in the 1940s, maybe a little prior. They started a bunch of wars to distract everyone. Because, if there was a whole bunch of angelic influence and a whole lot of spiritual influence and there was nothing else going on, people would notice, right? If there's nothing else going on and everybody's just quietly just going about their day and all this over the top spiritual things are happening, supernatural events, angelic beings in the sky, right? Everybody's going to notice. So what do? You create a whole bunch of distractions. Can I present to you World War I and World War II? Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason. What I'm saying is, what a great way. What do we have for a distraction today to keep everybody from noticing the daggone lines all over the sky?
Right.
Cell phones.
They're perfect.
Candy Crush. Right?
Dude, the entire sky had 9 enormous, larger than the sun circles, one after another, and they were all perfectly concentric and evenly spaced, and nobody saw them. I was the only jerk off with a camera that day.
We did it earlier, but I'm showing you again.
Which one?
I just shared it. I showed you. That was my sky on the way to work this morning. So that's, I don't know.
Par for the course.
That's 7:30 going down 77 in South Carolina. So I'm about an hour and a half south of Charlotte, North Carolina. Driving down. Okay. I'm facing east, going eastward pretty much. It's a southern going freeway because it kind of curves a little bit. But right now I'm facing east. And you look, man, honestly, I'm tempted to pull off to the side of the freeway and stand out of my car and with my phone and just start pointing and staring. But I'm concerned what happens if I cause an accident or something stupid.
Right. And the other thing is I do that all the time with a fairly large camera and nobody even pays you any mind. They don't care. They just don't care.
Well, I've got a piece where I did one morning in my daughter's school. I got them to wake up. I was filming up on the top of the hill where her school is, and a couple of teachers got out, and I mean, we were getting nailed, dude. They were drawing the lines while I was videoing. I mean, we were getting nailed, way worse than that picture I just showed you. It's and bad. These ladies got out of their cars and they said, "What is that?" I said, "You've never seen that before?" And they said, "No." I said, "It's been happening for 20 years." And I started explaining it to them. I scared at least one of them really bad. Whatever. Truth hurts sometimes. So
yes, it does.
I mean, it's still there. It doesn't go away. Oh, if I, go hide your head in the sand and it'll go away. No. Okay, so you got the distraction. What's that you're playing? Oh, yeah, dude.
Giant circles in the sky that all moved individually in front of the sun, 9 of them in a row, perfectly spaced, same exact size. I've never seen this in 10 years of videotaping the sky.
I've never seen anything like
and nobody looked.
I've never seen anything like those circles, those loop-de-loops that made this pattern like a daggone it's like a what was that? Those wheels you would draw drawings with. It
was unbelievably flagrant, and yet
I like
all of those moved right in front of the sun perfectly. It was amazing. It's an amazing feat to be able to block out the sun, and they're doing it. You know what I mean? Technologically, it's amazing. It's just sad that it's not for a good end.
So, some of the collateral damage that's happening to us from the particulates is sickness, is absent-mindedness, is genetic modifications, is a propagation. It's a material that propagates electromagnetic energy well, right? So we're getting inundated. Not only do we have RF, unnatural radio frequencies in our atmosphere already, microwave and all of that, which is bad for you, but now we have a way to propagate it better. So now it's plus, hey, we're breathing in those particulates, right?
And like I showed you with Mike Decker's 2015 air test.
I saw that.
barium, strontium, aluminum, arsenic, and everything else. But they were off the chart, literally.
I went and looked up what the cost was to get the same tests last night after I saw it.
Were you able to find a place in your area that will actually do it?
I didn't. All I found was a daggone, 23andMe crap.
Because we all tried to find a place to do water testing after Dane Wigington got that done. Once that blew up on the internet, nobody would do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. It's almost like they're controlling the tools we should be able to freely use.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to be the guy that no one wants to be the scientist that gave a conspiracy theorist proof to back up what he was saying.
You think?
2,000 people watching. You guys could hit that thumbs up, at least share this or try.
But look, nonetheless, so the angels around the 1940s, maybe 10, 20 years prior, leave the Antarctic area. It turns out that those areas were not frozen before we started Antarctic expeditions with the likes of Byrd, right? Richard Byrd,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so look, now we come to today, and they find these massive amounts of lava flows remelting, and it's how do you call this without global warming? There's a climate warming going on, so to speak. Okay, and it is at the poles. It's in the pole, but the polar regions
aren't what most people think they are.
Yes, they're not. We've been bamboozled, dude. Okay, so there is no South Pole in actuality. What they call the South Pole, the magnetic South Pole. There's no such thing. So these lava flows are happening down there in the left quadrant. If you zoom in, this is below South America. It's a land called Terra del Fuego. Land of fire.
Land of fire.
It was not covered in ice when these maps were made hundreds of years ago, but it has, for the past several hundred years, been covered in what they say is miles of ice. By the way, we don't know that it's really miles of ice there. I mean, I've been to Antarctica, but I don't know that there was 2 miles of ice below my feet. It could have been 10 feet. I don't know. I didn't take a magnetometer with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ever since we were kids, you always forgot your magnetometer.
Yeah, I left it at work today. I didn't bring it tonight. Sorry. So anyway, we don't really know that any of those structures that they prescribe to us are really true. I mean, okay, we'll give them it. It's true. Whatever. The ice is melting. Just like they say, well, if we don't do something, that ice is going to melt. Now, the technologies they're using are given just like they were before by the fallen angels that they're called in the book of Enoch, the watchers that God had assigned to watch over mankind. And in Genesis, it's in Psalms. It's called the Holy Council. And the Holy Council, it's in the scripture. It's in Psalms 82, I think. It says, God stands in the midst of the Holy Council. He's talking to the sons of God, and he says, I will give you the nations, but Israel shall be my portion. Right? So these angels, a class of angels called the sons of God, the B'nai Elohim. It's a job. It's a positional title. Okay. They were kept in the Antarctic until, like I said, with this influx of technology. Now they're seeing that there's rivers of fire, lakes of fire appearing in the areas that they're going to be cast into. You understand? They know the prophecy of the scriptures that says we're going to be cast into the lake of fire.
They should know the prophecies. They've had nothing but time to ponder them, correct? I mean, seriously.
Right. Yes. But in the meantime, they're like, oh, we got to do something. We got to do something. People got to understand that incursion at the Tower of Babel was just that. The truth is that Nimrod wanted to kill God. The plan was to go into the heavens and kill God. Even to say it is like absurd, but that's what following fallen angels does for you. Following Satan will make you that stupid. So their effort is all of this scalar wave technology, all of the propagation of electromagnetic energies by using the particulates in the atmosphere. I'm not saying this is the only purpose. I'm saying this is another outcome of doing it, is so that they can do thermal dynamic exchange. Because you've got to take the heat that's happening where they don't want it to melt.
Oh, dude, now
and exchange it and put it somewhere else and try to keep it frozen where you're at. Get it?
I do.
Okay. Thermal, again, you can't, the weather systems don't work unless it's a closed system. People, get it in your mind. Stop thinking that we live on a globe. We don't. Because the whole atmosphere would have just, gravity holds the air down. Oh my God. It's a vacuum. If you know what a vacuum does, ain't nothing going to hold the air down if there's a vacuum on the outside of the atmosphere. Nothing's going to hold the air down. And nothing will keep the exchange of the thermodynamic things going on, all of this energy is transferring, called our weather systems, from going just out into the vacuum. I love you, Mike. That's all right. That's it, man. That's the proper term right there. And a few more. So look, so they're going to use the particulates to propagate that thermodynamic function, right? To keep those areas frozen, so they're trying to stave off, because they look, man, what do you suppose they're using? CERN and a what's it called? A
tokamak.
Yeah, whatever.
The tokamak on its face has 10 million moving parts. It relies on electromagnetics to keep the plasma moving. If the plasma hits the walls, it all explodes.
Brother.
Terrible machine.
Show them the 3D thing. It's kind of cool.
All right.
See the 3D thing over there? Because I looked at it earlier. I know this thing. It's a plasma generator. They're creating a huge weapon, dude. Because the whole idea,
weapon, because it's a terrible idea for anything other than this is a one shot, one kill. This is a huge sniper rifle.
They're creating through electromagnetic fields of CERN and through this kind of crap. They're creating, I'd say like a massive, I can't say planetary, world, unimaginable, powerful electron gun.
Unbelievably, because again, on its face, it is a terrible machine. 1 million pieces, 10 million moving parts.
Yes.
Well, all they can go in every movie they ever show, and it goes horribly wrong, and everybody dies.
Well,
one shot, one kill, hope for the best.
Look, man, the movies, they do that because that's its plausible deniability aspect. That when you and I say that, well, all we're doing is giving the scenario for that sci-fi movie. This is sci reality.
It's the plausible deniability thing is real, which is how they use social media. We say it, the next day there's a newspaper article saying the exact opposite, and why we're as crazy as we should.
We're all nuts. I know, and I'm dumber than a box of rocks. That's okay.
I hear you.
You know what? My heart soars because there's people who realize, and this is all glory to God, brother. Listen, if I'm smart at all, it's only because God wired me a certain way.
Indeed.
I didn't make myself. I mean, come on. And so I remember there were some young people in my church, and they considered, why would David say all these crazy things? He's smart. That was their words. Why would he say all these crazy things? Then they went and investigated, and they went, well, he's right. All you got to do is go look.
That's it. You can still do that. It's why I take all the time to leave all the stupid links in the bottom where everyone says, hey, where are the links? It's like right there.
Brother, we are busting our proverbial arse to give all this stuff away for free, all this information, everything I know. If there's something on my channel, you don't ask, can I use it? Use it. Bam. My website, use it. I don't care. Now, don't take it out of context and say that I'm saying something I'm not, like about the drugs. Everybody get drugged up. I didn't say that, right? And
I'm still freaking out about people all over the planet hitting us up live saying we're looking at the full moon right now.
Oh, yeah,
how are you doing that? You're in California and you're in the UK. That's a weird.
And I'm in South Carolina. I mean, we're not below the equator of that globe thing, but still.
Unbelievable. All right, Dave.
You get it.
Have you got to it?
That was it, right? That's the whole deal. Is that
that's it? And it makes
it's just there is not global warming because there's no such thing as a globe. Whatever their term, there is global warming. It's not being caused by us. God said that those areas would be rivers of fire, and so they're trying to stave off that happening by transferring the heat energy somewhere else. We got to get it somewhere else. We got to keep it frozen so we can do this thing we want to do. This vain thing. The kings of the earth and the rulers together plot a vain thing, as it says in Psalms 2. And so, because they wanted to get their weapons together, that's why you see all this craziness with all these things.
Let me just jump in real quick.
Can
you guys believe this? There's 2,000 people listening.
Yeah.
We got a guy sitting here that worked at NASA for 12 years doing NASA stuff. So he's not some idiot. He's not some jerk off with his hat on backwards that didn't shave or shower today. But he's explaining to you the reason I started my channel 10 years ago, quacking about chemtrails and why it was the most important topic ever, is literally biblical. And he just tied it together and can basically pretty much as anybody can prove it. These dudes are trying to freeze the pit over, and the people in the pit are trying to burn their way out right now. And apparently that started several years ago. We're just finding out about this now. This is insanity. Do you understand the scope of this? And still don't be afraid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't. And here I am smiling. I'm saying, look, don't sweat it. Because here's the reason why. Only if you're in Christ Jesus. Sorry, folks, if you're not. I'm just telling you the truth now. If anything, I'm telling you the truth now. If you're in Christ Jesus, if you're saved, if you believe in Jesus Christ as the one and only begotten Son of the Most High God, the Holy Spirit moves in. The scriptures say that you will judge the angels.
Imagine that.
Yeah, this is why. Look, you know what? And it says, don't be afraid. They can destroy your body, but they can't destroy your soul. They can't destroy you. They can't take you and put you in a pit of hell. They can't. So don't worry about it, because when you're going to wake up and you're going to be with the Most High God, judging all the ones who've done all this crap to us.
Now that makes me think, if we're what we are right now, when we're gone, when we leave this human shell and go back to our spiritual form, we must get an upgrade. We must get our memories back, because how could we judge something that stood next to God as he
the scripture says that everything will be revealed. Like we'll just know. I don't know how that physically works, which physically is probably the wrong terminology. It does this. It's short.
Right.
Flat. We're just going to know. I don't know how that is.
I get, you know what? I don't even think I'm going to waste much time, because it will come to us when it's supposed to. I think if it came to us now, we'd probably freak out.
We couldn't handle it, brother. That's
right.
Look, and this is
I wouldn't be able to eat eggplant parmesan for a week.
Brother, think about how long they were dumping chemtrails in the sky before you noticed.
Exactly. It's true. It's true. But I'll tell you what, you never did 9 concentric. That still gets me. And it still doesn't. I still don't understand how people are like, I've never seen such a thing. Oh, really? It's just skywriting. It's November. It's supposed to be cold. It's like, it's not cold. It's freezing.
Did it have some rainbows in it too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's just skywriting. It's like, all right, brother. I'm gonna pull the plug. you can come back tomorrow whenever you want. We can wrap this up. But I mean, you did hit the point. That was a long point, and if this wasn't already my channel, I'd watch this again, and I probably will because this was great.
Cool. I'm gonna steal it and put it on my channel. You know.
Have at it, brother. Have at it. I cannot believe that you found that. And it makes sense because I'm sitting here going, why are they? I mean,
well,
everyone's like, well, dude, it's 70 degrees in California. I'm like, I understand, but
let
it's
me give credit where credit's due. Okay, it's important. Okay, I'm going to share this. Just one real last thing.
that's what links are.
People need to go and visit this. Okay, this thing that I'm talking about tonight. Did I share it? Share. There we go. This thing. I'm playing it full screen. I got a story, solar geoengineering in the land of fire. I probably need to change the title because I told you the other day, Facebook.
Oh, is this covering the entire topic we just went over?
I haven't finished it yet, but
I
basically,
started watching this video. I have it up right now. Actually.
yeah. So I haven't finished it yet.
Learning new things about same old things.
But this is yes, that's right.
Got it
yeah.
right here. I'm going to put it in the chat right now.
Cool. But the video's there. But so is. This transpired from some emails over about a 3, maybe not 4, 3-year period with a guy named Paul Zeitzman. And he has a blog out there. Google his name. He's quite a brilliant guy. And so Paul was contemplating, what does this have to do with that map? We had a dialogue about that map, about that Terra del Fuego. What's the deal with this map? Because we all knew the Earth was flat. This, how many years have we been talking about this, Richie?
Many.
Yeah,
Many.
crazy. Yeah, and we just keep on. So we had a dialogue about that via email with a bunch of pastors and him and whatever, and he kind of just kept chewing on it. Now I forgot about it, dude. And I get an email like a week ago. Hey, remember the Terra del Fuego? I'm like, yeah, whatever. I got like a billion things going on. I read it and I'm like, holy crap. It's like, whoa, man. I said, thanks for thinking of me. And then I started looking at Enoch, and dude, there's more to this. Okay.
Oh, no doubt. And I'm glad because it finally answers my own question, because I'm telling they're blocking the sun, they're cooling the place off, but I don't know why. I had an inkling about it because I made that video back in 2016, but I couldn't prove it. Right. You basically are. You're proving it enough for me to understand that this is if you're not grounded in the word of God, if you're not reading the Bible like a law book from God, as opposed to a novel for entertainment, you're screwing up. Yeah. That's what I was doing for a long time. David, you're already very well grounded. I'm still getting it. You know what I mean? As you can see, the Bible's always within hand's reach. You know what I mean? But I have a tough time reading it, man. That's what happens when people hit you in the head with stuff all the time. Well, I'm a dick, so it happens.
Cool.
At any rate. All right, to everybody in the chat, there's too many of you to name. I've already had you all up there. David's YouTube channel and website will be linked in the comment section, and run it if you want to, brother. It's all good.
Cool.
And I'm going to save all these. I guess I'll put all these links in the chat too. And there's only 30 of them up here. Yeah.
Hey, do me a favor, man. Make sure you put this website from my blog up there, because I'm going to add to it, because there's some other.
The website's in your video, right?
Yeah.
No, I need the link. That's all.
Yeah, I'll give you the link. Yeah, and because I'm going to add to it. There's other documents he sent in the email.
All right, I got the trumpet. Is that right?
I don't know.
Operation Dominic Crane failure.
I'm talking about it on my website. It's not just the links. It's like a bunch of stuff that we go to the scriptures and we point out the prophecies in Enoch and the scriptures that point out what the angels are doing. And it's profound.
Send them. Post them tonight.
Cool.
All right, guys. Richie from Boston, Jesus Freak Computer Geek. We are out. Thanks, brother. I don't like the double N